Alex Bennett stared out the viewport as the transport ship approached Centauri Prime. The gleaming silver spires of the Galactic Academy of Sciences stretched toward the orange-tinted sky. His heart beat faster. After 19 years on Earth, he was about to become the first human to attend the most prestigious school in the galaxy. "Prepare for atmospheric entry," announced the ship's computer in a pleasant voice. "All Deathworlders, please secure yourselves." Alex sighed. That word, again. Deathworlder. Ever since Earth had joined the Galactic Union 3 years ago, humans had been labeled with that term. It wasn't an insult exactly, but it wasn't a compliment either. The ship landed with barely a bump. Alex grabbed his duffel bag, the only luggage he'd brought from home. Most of his belongings wouldn't survive the decontamination process anyway. Tall, slender alien with purple skin and 4 arms waited at the arrival gate. She held a tablet and wore what looked like a breathing mask. "Alexander Bennett of Earth?" she asked, keeping her distance. "Just Alex is fine," he replied with a smile. The alien, who introduced herself as Administrator Jovan, flinched slightly at his smile. Alex remembered too late that showing teeth was considered threatening in some cultures. "Sorry," he said, closing his lips. "No need for apologies. We have studied human customs. Please follow me to your quarters. We have prepared special accommodations for your unique needs." Alex followed Administrator Jovan through wide hallways filled with students of all shapes, sizes, and colors. Some floated, some crawled, others walked on anywhere from 2 to 8 legs. They all shared one thing in common. They moved away when they saw Alex coming. "Is that the human?" whispered a small green student with leafy appendages. "I heard they can break bones with their bare hands," another student with scales murmured. "They drink poison for fun," said a blob-like creature that changed colors as it spoke. Alex kept his eyes forward and tried to ignore the comments. The Academy had accepted him based on his test scores and recommendations. He belonged here as much as anyone. The special accommodations turned out to be a reinforced room with thick walls and heavy furniture. It looked more like a prison cell than a dorm room. "Your roommate will arrive tomorrow," Administrator Jovan said. "We selected someone from a slightly higher gravity world who might be more comfortable with your physical capabilities." After she left, Alex unpacked his few belongings and sat on the bed. The mattress barely gave under his weight. He pulled out his tablet and sent a message home to his parents in Oregon. "Made it to the academy. Room is built like a bunker. Pretty sure they think I'm going to smash through the walls." His father replied almost immediately, "Show them what Earthlings are made of, son." But maybe not literally. The next morning, Alex dressed in the academy uniform, a simple blue jumpsuit with the school's emblem on the chest. He made his way to the orientation hall, following the map on his tablet. The hall was enormous, with seats designed to accommodate hundreds of different body types. Alex found the humanoid Class 3 gravity section and sat down. The chairs on either side of him remained empty. A large hologram appeared at the front of the room showing the Academy's chancellor, a gas-based life form contained in what looked like a floating glass orb. "Welcome, new students, to the Galactic Academy of Sciences. For over 2,000 years, we have brought together the brightest minds from across known space. Here, diversity is our strength. Each species brings unique perspectives that enrich our collective knowledge." The Chancellor's orb shifted to a deep blue color. "This year, we welcome our first student from Earth, a planet recently classified as a Class 12 death world." All eyes turned to Alex. He wanted to sink into his chair. "We ask all students to be mindful of our differences. What may be safe for one species could be deadly for another. Respect physical boundaries and biological needs." After orientation, Alex checked his schedule. First class, Comparative Planetary Ecosystems. As he walked toward the science building, he noticed a small group of students following at a safe distance. In the classroom, Alex took a seat at the back. The desks were arranged in a circle, with the instructor's platform in the center. Most students chose seats far from him. But one brave soul approached. She looked like a giant moth with colorful wings that caught the light and broke it into rainbows. Is this seat taken? She asked in a musical voice. No, please join me, Alex said, trying to sound as gentle as possible. I am Vela, third year, xenobiology student from Lapita, she said, settling her wings. You must be the human everyone is talking about. Alex Bennett, first year, and apparently terrifying. Vela's antenna twitched in what might have been amusement. Is it true that Earth has liquid water falling from the sky? You mean rain? Yes, that's normal on Earth. Fascinating. On my world, all water is in vapor form. The concept of liquid, water hitting one's body sounds refreshing, Alex suggested. I was going to say horrifying, Vela admitted. But differences are why we are here, yes? The instructor floated in, literally. He was a cloud of glowing particles shaped roughly like a cylinder. Welcome to Comparative Planetary Ecosystems. I am Professor Loom. Today we will discuss how different gravity levels shape evolution. The professor displayed a hologram showing various planets. Earth appeared labeled Extreme Gravity Environment. Consider Class 12 worlds like Earth. The crushing gravity forces life forms to develop dense bone structures and powerful muscles just to move around. Such conditions also create extreme weather patterns and tectonic instability. Alex raised his hand. The professor's particles shifted nervously. Yes, Earth student? We don't consider Earth's gravity crushing, Alex said politely. It's just normal to us. And we enjoy our weather. Many humans spend time outdoors during rainstorms or snow. A collective gasp went through the room. You go outside during precipitation events? Asked a student with gill-like structures. Voluntarily? Some of us even swim in the oceans for fun, Alex added. The professor's particles swirled in what seemed like confusion. Perhaps you could share more about these recreational activities at another time. Now let's continue with our comparison of atmospheric compositions. After class, Alex found himself surrounded by a small group of curious students. Besides Vela, there was a green plant-like student named Lily, a crystalline being called Prism, and a reptilian student who introduced himself as Drake. Is it true humans can break their bones and heal? Drake asked, his scaled tail swishing back and forth. Yes, though we try to avoid it, Alex said. I broke my arm when I was 10 climbing a tree. It healed in about 6 weeks. And you continued. Living? Prism asked, their crystal body reflecting light and amazement. Of course. Broken bones are painful but rarely fatal. The questions continued as they walked to the dining hall. Alex felt himself relaxing for the first time since arriving. These students were curious, not afraid. In the dining hall, Alex met his roommate, a blue-skinned student named Zeri from Proxima Centauri B. Zeri kept his distance at first, watching Alex eat with wide eyes. Your food moves, Zeri said, pointing to Alex's plate of noodles. It's not alive, Alex explained. Just flexible. Would you like to try some? Zeri backed away quickly. No, thank you. I have read that human food contains enough sodium to kill my species. Alex nodded. That's smart. I wouldn't want to eat your food either. But we can still be friends. Zeri's skin changed to a lighter blue. Friends with a Deathworlder? My family will never believe it. As the day ended, Alex returned to his reinforced room, feeling hopeful. Yes, Earth was different. Yes, humans were stronger and more durable than many species. But he wasn't here to frighten anyone. He was here to learn and share. Maybe being a Deathworlder wasn't so bad after all. It just meant he had interesting stories to tell. Alex woke up early for his first physical education class. On Earth, he had enjoyed sports and outdoor activities. He wondered what galactic physical education would involve. His roommate, Zeri, was still asleep, floating slightly above his anti-gravity bed. Alex tried to move quietly, but Zeri's large eyes snapped open at the sound of Alex's footsteps. Your morning routine is very loud, Zeri said, drifting down to the floor. Do all humans stomp around like that? Sorry, Alex said. I'm trying to be quiet. This is actually me tiptoeing. Zeri's blue skin rippled with what Alex had learned was their version of laughter. You Deathworlders and your solid bones. I can hear your skeleton moving. Alex and Zeri walked together to the gymnasium. Unlike the other buildings, the gym had sections for different planetary conditions. Signs marked areas for low gravity, high gravity, aquatic, gaseous, and other environment types. Professor Kallax waited for them. He was a four-armed Denovian with orange skin and a wide face. He wore what looked like workout clothes with the Academy logo. "Welcome to Adaptive Physical Conditioning," Professor Kallax said to the gathered students. "Today we will begin with basic terrain navigation in a standardized environment." A door opened to reveal what looked to Alex like a simple park. There were small hills, a few rocks, and some plants. It reminded him of the city park near his home in Oregon, but much less challenging. "We will now enter the extreme terrain simulation," announced Professor Kallax in a serious tone. "Please form safety pairs and watch for hazards." The alien students looked nervous. Some put on protective gear. Alex stood confused until Vela fluttered over to him. "Will you be my safety partner?" she asked. "I heard humans are good at dangerous terrain." "Sure," Alex said, "but this doesn't look dangerous." Vela's antennae twitched. The uneven ground can cause falls, and those rock formations could shift, not to mention the wild plants might contain toxins. Alex looked again at the gentle slopes and small decorative rocks. The wild plants were well-trimmed bushes that reached his knees. He held back a laugh and nodded seriously. "I'll keep you safe," he promised. The class moved slowly into the simulation. Professor Kallax demonstrated how to test the ground before each step. Alex watched in amazement as the other students carefully picked their way across what he would consider a flat lawn. Halfway through the exercise, a small rock rolled down one of the hills. It was about the size of a golf ball. "Rock slide!" shouted a student, and panic broke out. Several students froze in fear. A crystal student-like prism but smaller tripped and fell directly in the path of the rolling pebble. Without thinking, Alex jogged over and picked up the frightened student, moving them to safety. "The human is running," gasped someone. After setting down the crystal student, Alex casually picked up the small rock that had caused the panic. He held it up. "It's just a little stone," he said. "It couldn't hurt anyone." The class stared at him. Professor Kallax approached, slowly. "Student Bennett," he said, "you moved faster than our safety protocols recommend, and you lifted student Quartz with one arm while doing so." "I'm sorry," Alex said. "Where I'm from, we wouldn't consider this a dangerous situation." "Fascinating," said Professor Kallax. "Perhaps you could demonstrate proper Deathworld terrain navigation techniques." Alex spent the rest of the class showing his fellow students how humans handle rough terrain. He demonstrated how to climb small hills, check for loose rocks, and identify safe plants. What seemed basic to him left his classmates amazed. "You mean humans do this for recreation?" asked Drake the reptilian. "Student, you purposely go to places with uneven ground and exposed rocks?" "We call it hiking," Alex explained. "My family goes hiking almost every weekend. We climb mountains much bigger than these small hills." At lunch, Alex found himself surrounded by more students than before. Word had spread about his performance in physical education class. Even his roommate Zeri seemed impressed. "They say you carried quartz with one arm," Zeri said. "Their crystal structure weighs as much as 3 proximans." Alex shrugged. "They didn't seem that heavy to me. Earth's gravity is stronger than here, so maybe that's why." Lily, the plant student, leaned forward. "Tell us about Earth's most dangerous places. Where do humans fear to go?" Alex thought for a moment. "Well, there are some places we avoid, like active volcanoes or the deepest ocean trenches." "But you have been to these places?" asked Prism. "Not personally to those extreme spots, but I've hiked near dormant volcanoes and swam in the ocean," Alex said. "Most humans have." The table fell silent as the alien students processed this information. "You entered a large body of liquid water?" "Voluntarily," asked a Gill student named Finn. "Without protective equipment?" "I wore swim trunks," Alex said. "But that's just for modesty, not protection." Another student joined their table. She looked like a fox with 6 legs and golden fur. "I heard the human can eat spicy food," Is this true? Alex nodded. I like spicy food. My dad makes a chili that's so hot it makes your eyes water. Your eyes release liquid when you eat? Gasped the Fox student. Does it hurt? It's part of the fun, Alex explained. Some of us enjoy the sensation. After lunch, Alex had his first xenobiology class. The teacher was Professor Quinn, the only other human at the academy. She was older, with gray hair and laugh lines around her eyes. Today, she announced, we have a unique opportunity. Student Bennett has agreed to help us understand human biology. Alex, would you mind joining me at the front? Alex walked to the front of the class. Professor Quinn activated a holographic display showing human anatomy. Humans evolved on a planet with high gravity, extreme temperature variations, and numerous predators, she explained. Their bodies reflect these harsh conditions. She pointed to different parts of the hologram. Note the dense bone structure, redundant organs, and efficient healing system. Humans can recover from injuries that would be fatal to many species. A student raised an appendage. Is it true they can regrow limbs? Professor Quinn shook her head. No, but they can survive the loss of certain organs and still function. They have 2 kidneys but need only 1. Their liver can regenerate if partially removed. And their skin, she continued, can heal from cuts and burns. Alex, would you mind showing your scar from your childhood injury? Alex rolled up his sleeve to show a small scar on his arm from when he had broken it falling from a tree. The bone, underneath, fully healed, Professor Quinn explained. The slight mark on the skin is the only remaining sign of injury. The class murmured in amazement. After class, Alex found himself walking with Vela, Drake, Lily, and Prism across the academy grounds. We have study group tonight in the library, Vela said. Would you join us? We have many questions about Earth. Sure, Alex said, feeling happy. I'd like that. Prism's crystalline body caught the light. I still cannot believe you drink hot beverages. The temperature would crack my outer layer. And you eat plants and animals, added Lily with a shudder. No offense meant. None taken, Alex said. I'm learning that normal for me is extraordinary for you, and vice versa. As they walked, Alex noticed fewer students moved away from him now. Some even nodded in greeting. Maybe being the Deathworld student wasn't so bad after all. He had stories no one else could tell, and experiences no one else had lived. For the first time since arriving, Alex felt he truly belonged at the Galactic Academy. Not despite being from Earth, but because of it. 2 weeks had passed since Alex arrived at the Galactic Academy. The stares and whispers had not stopped completely, but now they were often mixed with curiosity rather than fear. His study group with Vela, Drake, Lily, and Prism had become the highlight of his week. Even his roommate Zeri had stopped floating up to the ceiling whenever Alex moved too quickly. Today was special. Professor Quinn had asked Alex to assist in her advanced xenobiology class for a lecture on Deathworld adaptations. Are you nervous? Zeri asked as Alex prepared to leave their room. A little, Alex admitted. I'm not used to being the subject of scientific study. Zeri's skin rippled in the proximate equivalent of a laugh. Yesterday in the dining hall you ate that spicy sauce that would burn through my digestive system, and you are nervous about talking? Alex smiled. Good point. See you later. The xenobiology lab was larger than the classroom where they usually met. At the front stood Professor Quinn next to several scanning devices and a large display screen. Ah, Student Bennett right on time, she said. Today we will explore how Deathworld species adapt to environmental hazards. Alex has kindly volunteered to demonstrate human resilience. The class contained older students from various species. Many had recording devices ready. Humans evolved on a planet with 1.0 g gravity, extreme temperature variations from 50 to 50 degrees Celsius, and thousands of predatory species. Professor Quinn began. These conditions created what might be the most physically adaptable intelligent species we have encountered. She nodded to Alex, who stepped onto a platform. A scanner hummed as it passed over his body. Observe the musculoskeletal system, Professor Quinn said as an image of Alex's skeleton appeared on the screen. Note the density of bone tissue and the powerful muscle attachments. A human can lift objects weighing roughly twice their body weight and can jump vertically nearly half their height. A student raised a tentacle. Is it true they can continue functioning with broken bones? Yes, Professor Quinn said. Alex, would you share your experience? Alex described his broken arm from childhood. It hurt a lot, but I walked home with my friends. The doctor put a cast on it and I was back in school the next day. Extraordinary, said a floating gas-based student. Structural damage would dissipate my form entirely, Professor Quinn continued. Humans can also tolerate extreme temperatures through biological and behavioral adaptations. Alex, what is the coldest temperature you have experienced? I went skiing in winter when it was about 15 Celsius, Alex said. With proper clothing, it was fun, not dangerous. And heat? I visited Arizona once when it was 43 Celsius. It was uncomfortable, but not harmful for short periods. The students murmured in amazement. But perhaps most remarkable is the human ability to process toxins, Professor Quinn said. Humans consume substances that would kill most species, sometimes for pleasure. She displayed images of coffee, alcohol, and spicy peppers. Caffeine is an insect neurotoxin. Capsaicin causes pain signals. Ethanol disrupts cellular functions. Yet humans consume all three regularly. A crystal student like Prism, but older, raised an appendage. Do humans feel pain from these toxins? Sometimes that's the point, Alex explained. Spicy food hurts a little, but many of us enjoy the sensation. We have contests to see who can eat the spiciest foods. The class stared in disbelief. You compete to see who can endure the most pain? Asked a reptilian student. Alex nodded. We also run races until our muscles burn from exhaustion. Some humans climb frozen mountains for fun. Others jump out of aircraft and fall through the sky before opening a parachute. Professor Quinn smiled. The human concept of fun often involves voluntary endurance of conditions that would threaten other species. After class, several senior students approached Alex with questions. One, a tall insectoid named Crix, seemed particularly interested. In my research on Class 12 worlds, I found references to human sleep patterns, Crix said. Is it true you become unconscious for hours every day? Yes, we call it sleep, Alex replied. I need about 8 hours each night. Fascinating, Crix chittered. Your species voluntarily enters a vulnerable state where you are unaware of your surroundings. On my world, such behavior would result in immediate predation. That evening in the dining hall, Alex found himself at a table with his friends and several new students who had attended the xenobiology demonstration. Try this, said Drake, pushing a bowl toward Alex. It contained small purple fruits. On my world, they are considered extremely sour. I want to see if humans can taste the difference. Alex took one and bit into it. The fruit was indeed sour, making his mouth pucker. Wow, that's tart. It's like a lemon, but more intense. What is a lemon? Asked Lily. A sour fruit from Earth. We use it in drinks and food. You add sour things to other food on purpose? Lily's leaves trembled slightly. As they talked, an alarm suddenly blared through the dining hall. Red lights flashed on the walls. Warning. Environmental hazard detected. Please proceed to safety zones according to your species classification. The alien students began moving quickly. Some looked scared. Bella fluttered over to Alex. It's a radiation alert, she explained. The star is having a solar flare. We need to go to shielded areas. How dangerous is it? Alex asked, as they joined the flow of students moving toward shelter areas. For most species, prolonged exposure could damage cellular structures, Vela said. How do humans handle radiation? We're not immune, but we can handle more than you might expect, Alex said. Our cells can repair some radiation damage. They reached the shelter areas, which were divided by species type. Alex was directed to a separate room labeled Deathworld Species. Inside, he found Professor Quinn and 3 other humans he hadn't met before, Academy staff members. Alex, welcome to the human bunker, Professor Quinn said. These flares happen every few months. The radiation isn't immediately dangerous, but the Academy takes no chances with student safety. One of the staff, a man with gray hair and a beard, extended his hand. Greg Porter, Engineering Department. You must be the famous Deathworld student everyone's talking about. Alex shook his hand. I'm not sure about famous. Are you kidding? Said a younger woman with short black hair. I'm Beth Ramirez, Medical Division. The entire staff has heard about you carrying a crystal student during terrain training and eating spicy food in the dining hall. You're giving humans quite a reputation. Alex felt his face grow warm. I'm just being myself. That's the point, said the fourth human, a tall man with dark skin. I'm Dr. Frank Wilson, Xenocultural Studies. What seems normal to us is extraordinary to them. Your presence here is changing how the galactic community sees humans. The radiation shelter was comfortable with food, water, and entertainment systems. As they waited for the all-clear signal, the other humans shared stories about their experiences at the academy. When I first arrived, Beth said, a student from Aquaria was shocked that I shower in water. They bathe in a special gas and thought water would dissolve my skin. Everyone laughed. For the first time since arriving, Alex felt completely at ease. Here were other humans who understood the strangeness of being considered strange. The Academy has requested more human students for next year, Professor Quinn mentioned. Your success has opened doors, Alex. 2 hours later, the all-clear sounded. As Alex left the shelter, he found Zeri, Vela, Drake, Lily, and Prism waiting for him. We were concerned about you, Zeri said. We know humans have fewer radiation protections than Proximans. Alex was touched by their concern. I'm fine. We humans are tougher than we look. We are beginning to understand that, Vela said, her wings catching the light. Perhaps you could tell us more about Earth's radiation levels? We have study group tonight. As they walked together toward the library, Alex realized something important. He wasn't just learning about alien cultures. He was teaching them about humanity. With every story he shared and every misconception he corrected, he was building bridges between worlds. Being Earth's student at the Academy wasn't just about his education. It was about helping the galaxy understand his home planet. And that made every strange moment worth it. 3 months had passed since Alex arrived at the Galactic Academy. Winter break was approaching, and many students were preparing to return to their home planets. Alex would be staying at the Academy. The journey to Earth took too long for a short visit home. Will you be lonely here by yourself? Vela asked during their study session in the library. I won't be alone, Alex said. Professor Quinn is staying. So are some other staff members, and there are about 20 students who live too far away to go home. I wish I could stay with you, said Lily, her green leaves drooping slightly. But my species needs to reconnect with our root networks regularly. I understand, Alex said. Family is important. Drake tapped his clawed hand on the table. Before we leave, we should do something fun together. Something that shows we trust you. What did you have in mind? Alex asked. The simulation chamber, Drake said with excitement in his reptilian eyes. It can recreate environments from different worlds. I want to experience a simulation of Earth. The others looked nervous but interested. Prism's crystal body reflected multiple colors. Would it be safe? The chamber has safety protocols, Drake explained. If anything gets too extreme, it shuts down automatically. Besides, we'll have Alex with us. He's from Earth. The next evening, the 5 friends met at the simulation chamber. It was a large room with blank walls that could project any environment. A control panel let users select from thousands of programmed worlds. I've reserved it for an hour, Drake said. I had to get special permission since Earth is classified as a Class 12 death world. Alex stepped up to the control panel. What part of Earth would you like to see? We have many different environments. Something typical, Vela suggested. An average day where you lived. Alex selected Oregon forests in autumn. The blank walls and floor shimmered and changed. Suddenly, they were standing in a forest. Tall trees with red and gold leaves surrounded them. A light rain fell from gray clouds. A trail wound through the trees beside a small stream. It's wet, gasped Zeri, his blue skin darkening with alarm as raindrops hit him. It's just water, Alex said. Light rain is common where I'm from. Vela's wings fluttered nervously. There is liquid falling from above, and the ground is uneven everywhere. The temperature is quite cool, Lily noted, her leaves curling slightly. About 15 Celsius, Alex said. A nice fall day. Drake seemed the most comfortable, moving forward to touch a tree trunk. The gravity feels stronger. Earth gravity is about 20% stronger than the Academy's standard, Alex explained. They walked slowly along the trail. Alex pointed out features of Earth's forest, the different types of trees, the sound of the stream, birds singing in the distance. This is where you live? Prism asked. With no environmental controls? No protective barriers? This is mild, Alex said. Sometimes it snows and gets much colder. Other times it's hot and dry. The weather changes all the time. And humans just adapt? Zeri asked in wonder. We wear different clothes, build shelters, but yes, we adapt. They continued exploring the simulation. Alex showed them how to skip stones across the stream. He identified edible berries that humans could eat. He pointed out places where animals might hide. Predators could be anywhere, he explained, though most avoid humans. You live with active predators around you? Gasped Vela. Earth has a complete ecosystem, Alex said. Predators are part of it. As they were about to leave the simulation, alarms suddenly blared throughout the Academy. Red emergency lights flashed. Warning. Environmental system failure. Multiple sectors affected. This is not a drill. The simulation forest vanished, leaving them in the blank chamber. But something was wrong. The door remained sealed. Emergency lockdown initiated, said the computer voice. Simulation chamber power diverted to life support systems. Zeri pressed the emergency release button. Nothing happened. We're trapped, he said, his voice trembling. Alex stayed calm. The Academy has backup systems. They'll get us out soon. But minutes passed and the temperature in the chamber began to drop. The air felt thinner. Life support failing, the computer announced. Oxygen levels decreasing. Temperature controls offline. What's happening? Lily asked, her leaves wilting in the cold. Alex checked the control panel. There's a massive power failure. The main environmental systems for the whole Academy are down. Their friends began showing signs of distress. Zeri's normally blue skin turned pale gray. Vela's wings drooped. Prism's crystal structure began to dim. Lily's stems bent toward the floor. Even Drake, the most resilient of the aliens, was shivering. The cold is dangerous for my species, Drake said through chattering teeth. We need heat to move. Alex looked at his struggling friends and made a decision. He had studied the Academy's systems out of curiosity. He knew there was a manual override for emergencies. Stand back, he told them. He moved to a wall panel and pulled it open, revealing a maze of wiring and controls. What are you doing? Prism asked weakly. Creating an escape route, Alex said. On Earth, we learn survival skills. Rule 1 is always have a backup plan. Alex rerouted power from non-essential systems to the door mechanism. With a hiss, the door slid open partway, just enough for them to squeeze through. The hallway outside was dark except for emergency lighting. Other students were huddled in groups, many showing signs of environmental distress. The Academy's standard temperature, gravity, and atmospheric conditions were failing. We need to get everyone to the central hub, Alex said. It has independent life support systems. They moved through the corridors, helping other students along the way. Alex carried Lily, whose plant body was suffering severely from the cold. He guided Zeri, who was struggling with the fluctuating gravity. When they reached the central hub, they found chaos. Hundreds of students from different species were crowded together. The environmental controls were failing here, too. Professor. Quinn spotted Alex and hurried over. The main reactor had a cascade failure during a solar storm. Backup systems are offline. We've lost control of the environmental systems. What about the emergency protocols? Alex asked. The automatic systems should have activated, but something's blocking them, she said. The engineering team can't reach the manual controls. The corridor to the control room is flooded with radiation, Alex thought quickly. Radiation from the solar storm? Yes, levels that would be lethal to most species. Alex took a deep breath. Humans have better radiation resistance than most species here, and I've studied the Academy's systems. Professor Quinn understood immediately. It would be dangerous, Alex, even for a human. But possible, he said. My friends are suffering. Everyone here is in danger. After a brief argument, Professor Quinn reluctantly agreed. She gave Alex a radiation suit, not completely effective, but better than nothing. She also gave him instructions for reaching the manual controls. You'll have about 10 minutes before the radiation exposure becomes dangerous, she warned. Get in, reset the system, and get out immediately, Alex nodded. He turned to his friends. I'll be back soon. Zeri reached out with a trembling hand. This is why Deathworlders are different. You run toward danger. On Earth, we help each other, Alex said simply. That's how we survive. Alex made his way through darkened corridors. The radiation suit was bulky but allowed him to move. He reached the sealed door to the control room and entered the emergency code Professor Quinn had given him. Inside, red warning lights flashed. The control panels sparked with electrical discharges. Alex moved quickly to the main terminal and began the restart sequence. His hands moved steadily despite the danger. On the radiation meter on his suit, the needle climbed steadily into the yellow zone. Just like fixing the power outage during that winter storm, he muttered to himself, remembering how his father had taught him emergency preparedness. The system began to respond. Lights stabilized. The hum of air circulation returned. Alex completed the restart and activated the environmental restoration sequence just as his radiation meter edged into the red zone. He hurried back through the corridors, feeling slightly dizzy from radiation exposure. When he reached the central hub, the lights had returned to normal. The temperature was rising. Gravity stabilized. His friends rushed to him as he removed his helmet. Vela's wings fluttered with relief. Lily's stems had begun to straighten. Prism glowed brightly again. You saved us, Drake said, his scales returning to their normal color as his body warmed. Alex smiled weakly. I just did what needed to be done. Professor Quinn helped him to the medical bay. The doctors will treat you for radiation exposure. You'll recover completely. Was anyone hurt? Alex asked. No permanent injuries, she assured him. Thanks to you. As the doctors treated him, Alex realized something important. His Earth survival, instincts, the very traits that made him a Deathworlder, had saved lives today. Being from a dangerous planet had prepared him for dangers anywhere. News traveled fast at the Galactic Academy. By the time Alex was released from the medical bay 3 days after the emergency, everyone knew what he had done. The human Deathworlder had walked into lethal radiation to save the Academy when no one else could. Alex felt awkward with all the attention. Students who had once avoided him now greeted him in the hallways. Professors nodded respectfully when he entered classrooms. Even the Academy's chancellor, the gas-based life form in the floating orb, had sent a formal message of thanks. Look uncomfortable with all this praise, Professor Quinn said as they walked from the medical bay to Alex's room. Most students would enjoy being a hero. I'm not used to it, Alex admitted. On Earth, helping in emergencies is just what we do. My parents taught me that being prepared for disasters is part of normal life. That's precisely why Deathworlders are different, Professor Quinn said. What you consider normal survival skills are extraordinary to species from safer worlds. When Alex reached his room, he found it decorated with colorful plants from Lily's world, glowing crystals from Prism's home planet, and a rare mineral sculpture from Drake's desert world. Zeri had arranged them carefully. Welcome back, Zeri said, his blue skin rippling with emotion. Your friends brought gifts. It is our way of saying thank you. Alex was touched. You didn't have to do this. We wanted to, said Vela, fluttering in through the doorway. You saved our lives. The others arrived soon after. They had worried about him during his recovery. The radiation exposure had been Significant, though not dangerous for a human. For their species, it would have been fatal. "The Academy Board wants to see you," Drake said. "They're in the main hall right now." Alex felt nervous as he walked with his friends to the grand hall where the Academy Board conducted official business. The room was packed with students and faculty. Chancellor Orion's orb floated at the center of the raised platform. Around him were the 7 board members representing major galactic species. They looked serious. "Alexander Bennett of Earth." The Chancellor's voice resonated from the orb. "Please approach." Alex walked forward, very aware of hundreds of eyes, stalks, sensors, and other sensory organs focused on him. "Your actions during our recent crisis have prompted the board to reconsider certain Academy policies," the Chancellor said. "For centuries, we have classified worlds according to their environmental hazards. Death worlds like Earth were considered dangerous and their inhabitants potentially unstable." Alex stood straight, wondering where this was going. "However," the Chancellor continued, "you have demonstrated that Death world adaptations can be valuable. Your resilience, problem-solving abilities, and willingness to face danger saved many lives." One of the board members, a tall insectoid, stepped forward. "We have voted to create a new course of study, Death World Survival Strategies. We would like you to assist in developing this curriculum." Alex was stunned. "Me? I'm just a first-year student." "You have practical knowledge that none of our faculty possess," explained another board member, a floating jellyfish-like being. "Your perspective would be invaluable." Professor Quinn stepped forward from the crowd. "The course would teach students from all worlds how to handle environmental emergencies. Your experiences on Earth provide perfect case studies." Alex thought about his childhood on Earth. Camping trips where his father taught him to build shelters, his mother showing him which plants were safe to eat, learning to navigate by stars, preparing for natural disasters. These were normal skills for humans, but they could help save lives here. "I would be honored," he said. The Chancellor's orb glowed brighter. "There is more. We have approved 5 additional scholarships for human students. Earth will send its best young minds to join our community next year." Cheers erupted from the crowd. Alex could hardly believe it. When he arrived, he had been the strange Death Worlder that everyone feared. Now Earth students were being welcomed. After the ceremony, Alex and his friends celebrated in the recreation area. They shared foods from their different worlds, though. Alex politely declined the glowing fungus from Zeri's planet. "Will you teach about Earth predators in your new course?" asked Drake, who had developed a fascination with Earth wildlife. "And storms?" added Vela. "The water falling from the sky still seems impossible." Alex laughed. "I'll teach everything I know, but I have so much to learn from all of you too." Prism's crystalline form caught the light. "That is why the Academy exists. We all have something to share." The next day, Alex received a message from home. His parents had heard about his heroism from Academy officials. They were proud but not surprised. "We always knew you would show them what humans are made of," his father wrote. "Just be careful with those radiation levels, son." Alex smiled as he composed his reply. He told them about his new role helping develop the Death World survival course. He described how his friends now asked him questions about Earth instead of avoiding the topic. He explained how perceptions were changing. As the semester continued, Alex worked with Professor Quinn to develop lessons for the new course. They created simulations of Earth environments, from snowy mountains to desert plains. They designed practical exercises in survival techniques. Alex even recorded videos of himself demonstrating emergency medical care, weather prediction, and natural navigation. Students from all years signed up for the course. What had once been feared was now considered valuable knowledge. One evening, as Alex sat with his friends watching the twin moons rise over Centauri Prime, Lily asked a question. "Do you miss Earth?" "It must be strange being the only human here, most of the time." Alex thought about it. "I do miss home sometimes. The forests, the oceans, even the unpredictable weather. But I've found something important here too." "What is that?" asked Zeri. "Understanding," Alex said. "On Earth, we only knew our own world. Here, I'm learning how different life can be across the galaxy, and you're learning about Earth. We're building bridges between worlds. Vela's wings caught the moonlight. Next year, when more humans arrive, will you still have time for us? Of course, Alex said. You're my friends. The first aliens to look beyond the Deathworld label and see me as a person. Drake nodded. And you showed us that being from a dangerous world makes you stronger, not scarier. As they talked into the night, Alex realized how much had changed in one semester. He had arrived as an outsider, feared because of his origins. Now he was helping shape how the galaxy understood humans. In the distance, he could see the Academy's main building. Lights glowed in the windows where students from hundreds of worlds studied together. Tomorrow he would continue his classes, help develop the new survival course, and share more stories about Earth. The Deathworld student had found his place among the stars, and soon more humans would join him, bringing their unique perspectives to the galactic community. Earth's adaptive strength, once considered dangerous, was now recognized as valuable. Different didn't mean threatening. It just meant different. Alex smiled at his friends under the alien moons. He couldn't wait to see what tomorrow would bring.